All right, guys, what is going on? My name is Joe, aka Cap.
I'm Dom, not Mysterio.
Scott Dash.
And I'm Francis.
And we're back.
God, it feels good to be
back
back.
Back in the podcast groove.
Back, baby.
We're back in the podcast
In the
groove.
New York Blues.
Dude,
Oh God, we're back, people. Did you miss us? You missed us all.
nice song choice, bro.
Thank you, Francis. Yes, we are back. We had to take a bit of a hiatus, figure some things out. Funny enough, when we were about to start recording episodes again, my ass decided to get COVID. And that was fun.
Just your ass?
Yeah, just my ass. Just that specific part. Doctors had never seen anything like it before. It was crazy, man.
Did it hurt when you sat?
A little bit. There was a little bit of uncomfort, kind of. But, you kind of just, sit with a pillow under your ass and everything like that. And then you're pretty good to go.
Was it like fucking Dreamcatcher where you had to have a fucking gun near your ass all the time?
No, it's more like when you have hemorrhoids and you have to sit on a donut.
Oh, that's worse than Dreamcatcher.
I don't think anything is worse than Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, it is. It's called getting ass COVID.
True.
I thought we were establishing that.
Fair enough. But anyway, yes, folks, we are back. We're back to recording. We're back to talking about a little bit of wrestling. So, guys, I have been near dead for 2 weeks. What the hell's been going on in the wrestling world lately?
A lot. I mean, first and foremost, most importantly, Sting has
Rode off
retired
into the sunset.
yet again.
For real
Yes.
this time.
For good this time, I believe.
Supposedly.
Yes, folks, that's true. As of Revolution,
true.
which was
Wrong guy.
two
Shut
weeks ago, AEW Revolution.
Yeah, I want to say 2 weeks. Sounds right.
As of 2 weeks ago at AEW Revolution, the icon Sting finally hung up his boots after what I thought was a pretty damn fun match, to be honest with you. You know what I find so amazing about Sting? He was,
Aside from everything.
aside from absolutely almost everything about him, the fact that AEW, and listen, we complain a lot about AEW bookings sometimes. We talk about, we complain about story inconsistencies, maybe not protecting the people that they should be protecting people they shouldn't be protecting. I think with Sting, I can't find a single thing they really did wrong with him.
No, because they really kind of... They did everything right with him. They let him be a mentor, let him be...
Dark Avenger.
Yeah, well, besides that. But, the fact, the whole thing with Darby, they didn't push him as a solo star. They teamed him with Darby, and they just kind of let them go. And let him be the mentor instead of just a manager or just a solo wrestler.
But also let him kick ass when he wanted to.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk... I don't know if you guys remember this at all, but there was a match that him and Darby were doing. I think it was against Daddy Magic and I forget what the other guy's name is, but it was a tag team match, and there was a spot during that match where they had Sting go through a table, and he no-sold that motherfucker.
Oh my god, I remember that. That was when he first came back, right?
Bro, he got right back up. Man's 60-something years old. Went through a table like nothing.
He is the Crow.
Like nothing. It was absolutely phenomenal. I loved it so much. And with the crazy thing... Go ahead,
Sorry,
Duff. Go ahead, man.
Alright. No, I remember when he first came back to when he first signed with AEW, and I'm like, oh, he's just gonna be a manager. He's not gonna. He'll come in and he'll do his 2 or 3 spots, and he won't take any bumps because looking at what happened to him in WWE, he took one buckle bomb and he was done. That was it. It was over. So I'm saying I wasn't expecting him to do much. And then I remember they had him go into the match and like he was taking bumps and everything, and I was like, oh my god, they're like he's actually doing stuff. That's awesome. Yeah. And then he did a suicide dive to the outside. I was like, what is happening? Like, what years?
It's like he aged backwards somehow between WWE and AEW.
Goth Granddad, man, he called upon his dark power.
And here's the.
I was actually.
Go ahead, Scott.
I was actually watching the match. I don't know if you guys were. I was actually watching the pay-per-view, and I'm just because I understood it was gonna be like obviously high flying and all that with Darby Allin going through that fucking glass, panes of glass from like insane. Like I think he was on the ladder off in the ring, and he jumps off outside the ring and lands on a like glass, like piles of like thick glass, and just like on tables, and he goes through it, and just oh my god! But then you get to see Sting versus the Young Bucks, like a 1v2, and oh my god, this guy's jumping off ladders onto ladders into. It's like he doesn't like I don't understand. He's like 60 something years old, and he looks like he hasn't taken any like.
He kicks just as much ass as he did in his 30s.
Exactly. I was speechless because it was just out of all the whole pay-per-view, that match was just like, oh my god.
It was brilliant. And here's the special thing that I really want to bring up, especially. I feel like so many times when you have wrestlers at that age, think. In their late 50s, 60s, mid 60s in some cases, and they have that that one more match mentality. It's so easy to come off as cheesy or something like that. Think WrestleMania 25, Chris Jericho versus Steamboat, Snuka, and Piper. It was so obvious that the match was a bit more of a nice gesture than anything else.
Well, yeah, because none of them were, other than Michaels, was in ring shape.
But
carried that match.
But like Sting, my God! But like Jesus Christ, when it comes to Sting, we've said it a couple of times already. Man, like ages backwards or something like that.
Yeah, my one takeaway, like my one
critique,
not like critique, but like an irk, I guess is the right word. With this match is, I don't think Sting needed the win. Like it's nice that he got the win, but now you had him and Darby win the tag titles, to then just for Darby to drop it. The next episode of Dynamite.
Yeah,
but. That also.
Like, what was the point of that? Like, why not just let him lose the title?
Well, you can also. Well, the good point of it is you have an amazing tournament, tag tournament for those tag titles.
I mean that is true.
I don't think the Young Bucks really deserve to have the titles at that moment. Like, not yet.
No, I don't think so either.
I feel like they're consistently having those titles in that company. They need to.
Yeah, but at the same time,
they need to bring up the ratings without it.
That's true, but they could have very easily just made them like transitional champs.
I'm gonna.
And also, it's also they did something to branch off of what the final match is. Like, out of all the times WWE has done those type of matches,
have the guy go out on top instead of putting somebody over.
For Sting, for this type of match and how the story went and how it finished, I'm having a difficult time thinking of that wrestler that had something equivalent to that in WWE, because I'm constantly remembering. Because I was like Undertaker, I was like, oh well, he kind of kept losing, and that was just. I mean, AJ's match was like, it was great. I liked it, but it was like.
I think that was the perfect send off for him.
It was extended, but besides Undertaker, I can't think of any. It ruined Kurt Angle at the end of his because he made him lose to Baron Corbin, in which he now can't even. And now he's like below on the bottom.
He could barely float on NXT, let alone. which is
Whoa, whoa,
weird
whoa,
to
whoa,
say
whoa!
because
Hold,
the
hold
dude
on
was
a
like a
minute, hold
top
on. And I
heel.
don't, I can't believe I'm gonna be the guy.
Stone Cold lost his final match before he came back. There was Owens against The Rock. They didn't give him a. I feel like they never give the person the winning leave.
No,
Like it's
because
always like, oh, let me lose and give it to the next person. Like
you got to think about it
that
this
was like
way.
it was different.
Yeah, it's different because like usually when you're going out, you're putting somebody else over. You know, you're doing them a favor because you don't need the win if you're out on your way out the door.
See, here's where I'm gonna cut in for a minute because Dom, I absolutely understand where you're coming from, but I think there's something bigger here that we're not talking about. Here's the honest truth when it comes to when it comes to this situation in particular. Yes, the match was for the tag team championships. Now, do I entirely agree that his final match should have had a title on the line with it? No, I don't entirely believe that. I think it should be fought among the 20 billion other tag teams that you have between AEW and even a Ring of Honor. You could throw in a couple of Ring of Honor tag teams there as well if you really want to. You have the roster, so you might as well. But here's the thing. With that win at Revolution, Sting theoretically retired at 29-0 in AEW. He is the first person within that company to have a perfect record. He's the first, and let's be honest, I mean, how many other people are going to be able to say they have that?
You know what? That's a very good point. I didn't think of that.
So, as much as I agree with the idea that, maybe it should have been used to, put up another team or something like that, maybe the tag team titles shouldn't have been involved. At that point, you have to consider that the moment at that specific time of it being Sting's final match ever, I feel like that has to outweigh the whole concept of the tag team titles for a minute. Just for that night.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's a really good point.
It also helps. It also really helps Darby in that match because he also gets the win. He doesn't lose the tag titles, so that makes him look better. And I was actually watching AEW before I went on to record with you guys. I didn't get to see who won, but he was in he was in a triple threat match for I think a chance to get into a title match.
Who, Darby?
Yeah, I don't know if he won. I don't know if I got the right name of that match. Right? I don't know, but like he was they already bumped them up to title. I think he's gonna have a big. He
is a former TBS champion.
This is true.
Not TNT, excuse me.
As Sting once said,
I always get them mixed up.
As Sting once said, Showtime is over for Sting. But I agree with Scotty. Showtime is just beginning for Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Plus, by the way, before we maybe switch up topics here, can we just talk about that intro for a second? That entrance of Sting.
Where he came out with his boys.
But they were both dressed as past versions of him. Can we talk about that for a second? How fucking awesome that was.
That was
amazing.
And that's a cool moment that they'll never forget.
That was so badass. And what's crazy is
insanely jacked because Sting in his younger years was insanely jacked.
Former bodybuilder.
Right.
It's just crazy to me that you could maybe make an argument about the red, white, and blue Sting. The kid who played Wolfpack Sting.
Garrett.
That was spot on. He was spot on. That he looked exactly the way Sting did back in the day.
Wolfpack is
I mean, that is his son. I would hope so.
Jesus here, the bad boy of wrestling. Oh, that was one of the chillest beats of all time, bro. Oh,
I even liked how they had their own moment in the match too.
Yeah,
Like,
they all did a
actually helped him out a
splash.
bit during it.
All did a stinger
did Garrett
splash.
over jump with a stinger splash though, Dom?
That was like during when he was like training, like getting ready for that.
Okay.
I was reading an article that someone had posted, and they were talking about how, when he first started learning how to do the stinger splash, he was jumping off of one foot and hitting it like perfect. And Stinger told him like, no, you got to jump off of 2 feet, otherwise it won't look right. So he jumped off of both feet and like over jumped and like tumbled over the top rope. So he like in the actual match he had to like jump very early.
But
I mean, he looked awesome. He looked great, fantastic doing it.
But yeah, man. Overall, I think it was a perfect send off. And yeah, I'm sad to see Sting go, but at this point it's beyond time. And you know what, it was a very touching send off, I think, and it was a very great way to, send him off right. I think they did it with a lot of respect, a lot of love, and I appreciated it.
This one's for you, Stinger. Pours one out.
Anyway, moving on from AEW now to WWE.
WrestleMania season is in full effect, gentlemen.
We are fully on the road to WrestleMania. We have figured out a couple of the matches that are going to be going on during the weekend. We're going to get into the main event later on tonight. Later on in the episode, I should say. And yeah, we're gonna talk about let's talk about this past Monday night, because we got a couple of it was an interesting episode, I would say the least. We finally received the prophecy of Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso.
To yeet or not to yeet?
To yeet or not to yeet? That is the question. We saw
it was the first. Sorry to interrupt, but the first WrestleMania match everybody saw coming.
WrestleMania match everybody saw coming from like 20 miles away.
Ray Charles with a blindfold saw this one coming.
Pretty much, yeah. We had the first time, and I can honestly say this. I'm going to only talk about this for a brief second. I think it was the first time I've ever seen somebody bullied into losing a match. Talking about the whole thing with Maxine Dupree and Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
Just a brief moment of what the holy shit was that?
It's evil, man.
God damn. I know, I understand it's being evil, but like, Jesus Christ.
To add a possible match from the card, we could possibly be getting Orton versus Paul.
That's true. We could also be getting Orton versus Logan Paul.
I mean, from what it looks like so far, but nothing's been announced yet.
Hasn't been announced yet. Would like to see that happen. Just because I would love to see him get RKO'd out of his fucking shoes again.
And we finally have the number one contender to try and dethrone the ring general himself, El Generico himself, Sami Zayn.
Yes, we do.
Also, big props to Sami Zayn. Like, not only because they put on a banger of a match, but the dude did it. You know, I think he was in that gauntlet match for over 20 minutes on what I believe was the first night of Ramadan. So spent the entire day beforehand,
fasting.
no food, no water, nothing until sundown. So big props.
I'm gonna level with you. I didn't even know that part. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
He did that. He did all of that on an empty stomach. Jesus
they did bring
Christ.
it up very briefly that like he fasted until he basically had no food or water from sunup until sundown.
Jesus Christ.
So once the sun went
Christ,
down,
this
he was
man
able
is
to
actually
drink water.
superhuman. What the hell? He did all of that on an empty stomach.
Empty stomach and like only just getting water like right before the match, basically, because you have to wait for the sun to go down.
This guy is superhuman. My God.
Yeah, major props.
Major
Definitely
props on
Major
that.
props to him.
I'm gonna level with you, man. When I saw the final two being Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, I'm gonna level
I
with
thought
you.
they were
It's
gonna
one
give
of
it to
those. I thought they were gonna give it to Chad too, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It was one of those matchups where, like, I genuinely think you can't be upset at either one of these guys
No, not at
winning.
all.
I don't genuinely think you can You can.
Oh.
You wait your turn. You wait your turn.
I think someone
Scott, you wait your turn. You wait your turn.
Yeah. I was waiting for a stupid ass comment to happen because I knew I wasn't going to be able to not hold it in.
All right. Keep your pants on for a second. We'll get to you. We'll
No,
get
no,
to
no,
you.
no,
This
I
man
wanna
has been
hear what he
saying
has to
all
say now.
day he's gonna drop some shit on my show.
Okay.
I think
Just
we're
let
gonna
him
have to
go.
rip the. I think we'll have to rip the Band-Aid off, Cat.
All right.
let
You
him
know
go.
what? Actually,
First
let's
thing-
just rip off the Band-Aid. Scott, do you have something you'd like to share with the rest of the class?
Yes. First things first. Congratulations to Sami Zayn. I like him. I do not hate Sami Zayn. He's a very good wrestler. He's very entertaining. And he puts on a very good show and does very good promos when he's on performing. But Sami Zayn, to me, is not a championship type wrestler. I don't see him as a person that should be going for championships. Because, I mean, the tag titles, you can maybe, but him and Kevin Owens' tag reigns were not that good.
To be fair,
defending
Kevin
those
was
titles.
injured during most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, And then
but
Sammy
we
gets
also
injured,
spent the
come-
entire time waiting for KO to turn on him.
Like he always
Yeah, but-
does.
but it's never. I feel like it's like whenever it gets to the point where he's going to go for a championship, it's like I'd rather someone else. I feel like because they're doing it to Orton and they're doing it to certain wrestlers, I was like, all these wrestlers are coming back injured. And there's certain wrestlers that do get injured quite often. I mean, you know what I mean? And I feel like I really wanted Chad Gable to do it because, I mean, he, for a good couple of months, he was really, like, winning over the fans before LA Knight and all that took over. He was, like, the major guy. And he's also in the faction, which I think they put him in there to help out those other three wrestlers, like, build up their character. And I just feel like he's the person that deserves it the most. And it's just like seeing Zayn versus Gunther. It's like, ugh. I'm like, I don't want to see that match. I don't want to see Zayn in a title match. That was, like,
I mean,
yeah.
in all fairness, I'm gonna slightly agree with you, Scott. When I saw that the final two was Zayn and Gable, I really thought they were gonna give it to Gable. I kind of wanted them to give it to Gable, only because, like you said, a couple months ago, he was like the most over guy in the mid card. Like there was no question about it. It was like everyone thought Gable was going to be the one to dethrone Gunther when the time came, and then they just never pulled the trigger on it. So I kind of wanted them to do it, let him have his WrestleMania moment, especially after everything he's been through. I mean, he's a phenomenal character, let alone wrestler. Obviously he's a fantastic technical wrestler, with
Former
with a
Olympian.
great amateur wrestling background, Olympic gold medalist.
So what you're saying is
but
he should have been the one from American Alpha to be Kurt Angle's son.
Or just
Yes.
not do that storyline at all, yeah.
Or just
Well, yeah,
not do
that
that
too.
storyline at all because it was fucking stupid. But that's aside the point.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. That's neither here or there. But my point being, I do agree with you. They definitely made Alpha Academy to be like, because like Otis is over just because he's funny. but now like they gave him another outlet to be funny in. And then you put Maxine Dupree in there because after the Maximum Male models were done, she needed somewhere to go and do something. So that was great putting her there.
And she looks better. She's wrestling better too.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of
She's still with
improvement in
Alpha
her.
Academy,
I
right?
can't understand
She's-
why people hate her so
Yeah,
much,
they're
to
all
be
in the same
honest.
thing.
I mean, I don't get it, but my
People
point
hate it. This is
being,
the first time hearing of that. Sorry, Dom.
I think he's still like probably one of the most over guys on the mid card when it comes to the IC title, and the dude's a workhorse, and the IC title is a workhorse championship. So if I had to pick between the two, I think I would have picked Gable over Sami Zayn as well. And like I said, I have no problem against Sami Zayn. I think the guy's a phenomenal wrestler, but I can't say I agree with Scott where I don't see him as a champion. I just don't see him as an IC champion. I could see him as like a US and like obviously as a tag champ. But it's like, and especially the way they book him. Every time he goes for a main champion, like a main event championship, he always comes up short. It's become predictable at this point.
Sad to say.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I just feel like my issue also is I don't think I think he's gonna win it. As much as I love Gunther, I feel like he's gonna be the person to dethrone him because they've been wanting a push for a while.
Yeah,
and
but then
else.
he kind of disappeared after the whole tag team thing.
And then there's nothing else for Gunther. I mean, unlike Roman Reigns, he's actually.
There is something.
Gunther's
for Gunther.
actually. No, I mean, but unlike Roman Reigns, Gunther's actually. No, not record-wise, but Gunther's already kind of beaten everybody that would be considered putting into that like intercontinental title match.
Yeah,
And he doesn't have as many interferences.
No,
Yeah.
Like he's not.
No, he doesn't.
You don't see him. You don't see him versing people like Rollins and Roman. You don't see him like that. And
because they're not going to
just-
take main event guys and have them chase the IC title.
It's just I feel like it's really going to happen this time because it's WrestleMania. I also think probably like 75% of the titles are going to switch hands at WrestleMania. I think there's going to be
I could see
big.
as it
I
should.
feel like I see a lot. There might be just one, maybe.
See, I don't know.
I can't think of one. Maybe not one.
My only thing that's making me think that they're probably not going to take it off him yet is because he wasn't supposed to originally do this. Like, they weren't going to do this gauntlet match, or if they were going to do the gauntlet match for a number one contender, it wasn't going to be Zayn. It was going to be Brock.
That's true. That was part of the original plan.
That was supposedly a big thing that Brock got pulled from. Was he was supposed to have like a whole thing with Dominic Mysterio at Elimination Chamber, or
but
and then
here's
go on
my
to challenge Gunther.
So here's my thing, and I'm gonna put in my 2 cents here with everything. I'm gonna be honest with you. I disagree when it comes to Sammy. I think, and it's not that I have anything against Chad Gable. Like I said, had Chad won that match, I would have still been happy. And I absolutely love Chad Gable. God-given talent when it comes to wrestling. A lot of people love him. He is an absolute workhorse. I agree with all of those things. Chad, however, we gotta look at it like this, man. Chad Gable, on his best day, was still not even close to as popular as Sammy was.
No,
as Sammy has been. And here's the thing. Yes, he cooled off a lot after the whole thing with the bloodline. Some of that had to do with things that just weren't in his power. Some of those things had to do with what was in his power. You know, there were multiple reasons. I can't figure out why it cooled off as much as it did afterwards. But
Ultimate power.
here's the thing. When it comes to Sammy, people still like him, man. People love him.
Oh yeah,
They do.
I love Sami Zayn. I think he's great.
Every city he goes into, people are chanting that damn theme song like it's a soccer match.
Yeah.
You don't like
No.
ska?
But I love Sammy. He's probably one of the greatest wrestlers of our time. I would have really liked to see Gable win it.
I would have liked to seen it too.
Now or never kind of thing with him.
I don't
Sammy,
think
you
so.
can throw him in a mid card title match whenever you want. Gable's hot now. Like, give it to him.
And you know
thing
what?
with-
I
the
believe he will get something. I believe he will get something at some point. Part of the thing is also just like that we're in a period of time now, especially when it comes to the WWE, that it's not just one or two guys at the top right now. It's like
Yeah.
8 or 10 guys at the top. And not even
Like
just the
in
guys,
yeah.
men and women. There's like 10 or 20 people at the top right now that people are paying money to see. And
Absolutely.
whether you agree with it or not, Sami Zayn is one of those people. And so as far as him beating Gunther, I'm going to level with you. I don't know. I think it's a perfect storm right now. Because of what you said, whenever it comes to like the match meaning something, yes, Sammy doesn't have the best record. But in a sense, that almost makes this the perfect underdog story.
That's true.
It is
But-
perfect because you have a guy who has known to not always rise to the occasion when the match matters, versus we were. But before we started recording, me and Scott were talking about Joker in the NBA, and I told him that if you were to build a perfect basketball player right now, I do believe you would build Joker. If you were to build a perfect wrestler, you would absolutely build Gunther.
Johnny,
You were gonna say Johnny Morrison, weren't you?
I was gonna say Johnny Gargano.
He's too short.
I don't even think that's a controversial thing to say. I think if you truly built the perfect wrestler, you would be building Gunther.
Oh, 100%. In terms of like technical and mat wrestling, without a doubt.
And that's why this story is so... It's too perfect not to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I could see that. My only thing, like I said, the one thing that I'm bringing this back to is the fact that it wasn't supposed to be Zayn. It was supposed to be Brock. I think they were going to have him have this match with Brock. Brock would lose because he's at the point in his career where he's just like putting people over at this point. He doesn't need the wins. Brock doesn't want to be an IC champion. He wants to be Universal champion or heavyweight champion.
And let's be perfectly honest, who wants to see Brock with the IC title?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't look right. So you have Gunther beat him, right? So I don't think the plan was to take the belt off Gunther just yet. I think they were going to save that maybe for Backlash or Money in the Bank.
I think at this point it'd have to be SummerSlam. If not WrestleMania, it would have to be SummerSlam.
Is Gunther going to beat Hogan's record?
But my point is, I was saying I would think take it off him before Money in the Bank, and then this way by SummerSlam he can challenge for the heavyweight championship.
Well, look,
because he is 100% a main event guy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Like he's outgrown the mid card since becoming the Intercontinental Champion.
And let's be perfectly honest too. Regardless of if he loses the title, regardless of when he loses the Intercontinental Championship, he is going straight to the World Heavyweight Championship picture. I would have to imagine he is going straight at that picture. World Heavyweight or Universal, doesn't matter. He's going after one of them. I don't believe
he's going after a title.
I would see WWE I World Championship. I'm not calling it the Universal. I I'm gonna always call it the WWE Championship.
I think they're just
Undisputed
calling it the
Universal
WWE Championship
Galactic
now.
Federation
Infinity.
No, yeah, it's just
Infinity Gauntlet.
I don't see him
title.
as the heavyweight, the one with the heavyweight title. I can see him with that WWE logo on him, that gigantic one.
I think either one, but like there is no stepping down from losing the IC belt for him. No, you got to put this man in the world title
He's
spot
got to move.
immediately.
Plus, like if you said it's true and he doesn't lose until SummerSlam, then we'll most likely get a draft by then.
Yes.
Or we'll get a switch up, so he might not be on Raw anymore. I think he's on Raw.
He is.
Yeah, because Logan's on
Imperium
SmackDown.
is
Yeah.
currently on Raw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, what I think could happen, let's say, for example, Damian Priest cashes in on whoever wins the heavyweight championship at Mania, right? And Judgment Day screws Gunther out of the Intercontinental Championship. What better payback than to have him go after Damian Priest and take the heavyweight championship from him?
So then here's my question.
Unless
Like,
Damian
it's your
Priest
fault.
uses-
Like, you guys screwed me out of the Intercontinental Championship. Like, let's say they give it to Dom, right? Dom has a match with him, and then, like, Finn and Damian, like, do their interference thing and typical Judgment Day stuff to get Dom to win, right? He steals the win. It's a dirty finish, whatever they got to do, protect Gunther so he doesn't eat the pin for real. Then they have him be like, well, it's your fault. You're in charge. He can have the Intercontinental Championship. I'm more interested in the Heavyweight Championship. I want to take this away from you because this is your fault.
So then here's my question, because that's very possible.
To win.
That's very possible scenario as well. Keep in mind we're under the assumption that Damien remembers that he's Mr. Money in the Bank, assuming he's not like
Yeah, he's currently on the 200 plus day mark.
Assuming that
he
he
only
hasn't
has
forgotten
until-
that part.
Next pay per view, Money in the Bank.
Let's
No,
see.
it's Backlash first, then Money in the Bank.
Let's say that
Money in the Bank is when he has to cash it.
that's true.
I would think.
He's got two pay-per-views between WrestleMania and
Backlash.
Backlash, but I could see them having him cashed in on like the Raw after Mania.
But anyway,
I could see maybe Damian Priest cashing in he beats Sami Zayn. He cashes in at WrestleMania against Gunther
For the Intercontinental Championship?
Yeah, and because Gunther is technically undefeated because he hasn't lost since he's came up to WWE. That's how he loses, and he doesn't look weak doing it. He doesn't get pinned by someone lower than him.
Yeah, because
It's
you have
him
Sammy
defending
taken
it,
to the limit.
and then he has the second person that someone is bigger than him in Damian Priest, and Damian Priest gets then you're just like, well, we screwed up Damian Priest. He's for me, he's a mid card. I can see him with the Intercontinental title. I don't really see Damian Priest with the two titles. So
no, if there's a main eventer
it would be a
in there,
reward for winning the.
If there's a main
briefcase.
eventer in Judgment Day right now, other than Rhea, it's Finn.
Yeah, that's the only one and that's one people want out of the group.
And I mean, I could see them giving Dom something like a very quick run with something like that, just because of the heat that he gets.
Yeah.
Just for
He needs to give him the U.S. title.
So let me ask you guys
Not
this
give him the
question.
US title.
Let me ask
Man
you
got
guys.
booed at his own wedding.
Let me ask you guys this question then, because in both of your cases scenarios, it would be
Damian actually
Gunther.
cashed in, yes.
It would be Damian actually cashed in, but also that means Gunther would start some type of a small feud with the Judgment Day. So here's my question.
Imperium and War Games.
So here's then my question. Do you guys possibly see the idea?
That would be the fourth member.
This man-
that would be crazy good match to see.
This man's
Ilya Dragunov.
This man's thinking all the way to Survivor Series at this point. This is crazy.
The Goth
Long-term
versus the
storytelling, Cap. Long-term storytelling.
No,
The God
long-term
Kid
storytelling
versus
means that the match would have to happen 5 years from now, Dom. We've all seen AEW.
Yeah, well, I was 10 years old when Roman Reigns joined the Bloodline, made the Bloodline, so we'll deal with it. Like,
You want to know the crazy thing? That's not a joke. Scott was 10 years old when we met him.
You see, the
Imagine.
bloodline's existence causes a perpetual state of quantum flux.
All right, here's the question I've been trying to push out. In both cases, these scenarios, Gunther would have to be the face. Is he capable of playing a face?
I mean, he's already so over.
I wouldn't mind a heel
Like
versus heel.
he's a heel, but he's over as fuck. But so is the Judgment Day.
wait, I want to hear someone's opinion on this because he didn't speak at all. Francis,
What?
I
How
didn't
would
hear
you feel
anything
about
out of
these
that
situations?
I just said
about
I
Sami
would.
Zayn. He didn't even answer my comment too I made in the beginning about
Because it
Sami not
wasn't
being
that
a
much of a
title
hot
holder.
take. I knew you were gonna say, "Oh, you probably don't think Sami Zayn is worthy to be a fucking title holder." I disagree, but I can see where you're going from. I'm not a fucking
That's it?
blood boy. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, let's be perfectly honest here, Scott. You were getting ready like you were about to like you were sitting there in your chair like, oh,
I didn't expect
Oh!
it to be so great because a lot of
Oh!
people love Sami Zayn to the point where they think that. I never really hear people
You know, he
saying,
was-
"Oh, he doesn't deserve it."
like you were
don't think
getting
he
ready
does
like you were
deserve
about to
it.
say something
he
absolutely
deserves it.
insane, and then like you
He's
came
like,
out
"Oh,
with that, man.
I'm gonna
Like
say something that pushes the push to the very brink.
it's like,
None
oh
of them
shit,
are gonna look at each
oh shit, everybody watch out.
Oh man, fucking.
I
No
don't
one
think
say
Sami
what.
Zayn's that very good.
That's it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Notice me.
We heard out of Francis' stupid mouth instead of him just.
What's that
I will
noise?
fucking razor's edge you from the top of the fire escape. You fucking dweebicus. You goddamn fucking skeed.
Oh god, this is inevitably going to end with Scott versus Francis in a ring somewhere.
You fucking bingo bango bitch.
Oh god. Anyway, moving on to our last topic of the evening. Let's talk about Seth and Cody and Roman
Oh wow!
and Rock.
Yay!
To interrupt these callings, I have breaking news from Bleacher Report.
oh,
This is kind of crazy because he just recently signed last week, but Okada has a title match.
oh wow, what a surprise!
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Nobody saw
Right.
that coming when he signed with AEW.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it the next week. Like, come on.
Please. The second he signed, the second I saw the thing, I was like, oh, Kazuchika Okada signs with AEW. I was like, yeah, great, he'll be AEW champion in the span of a month.
Well, folks, we are
Not
gonna have more about that story. We're gonna have more
Next
about that
time.
story in the
Probably
next
next
episode, and you can also, by the way, follow us on our Instagram, The Push Wrestling, where we will be sharing that same news report.
Yes.
Be sure
Francis,
to
stop
follow
tucking down
The
your
Push
microphone.
Wrestling on
I'm
Instagram.
scratching my face.
Anyway, let's get back to the conversation of the WrestleMania main event. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Yes, it was made official, but before that, it is going to be at night one a tag team match. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns and The Rock.
Some indie guy, I think he is, The Rock.
Yeah, some small. We all know The Rock. Some small independent wrestler. You know, made a name for himself on the independent circuit.
Yeah.
You know, not too much. Not too much of
He
a
looks promising.
person. He looks promising. He looks promising. I'm glad to see he's getting this nice little push.
He kind of reminds me of the guy from the Fast and the Furious movies. What's his name? Dwayne?
You mean Vin Diesel?
You mean Teth Adam?
Yeah, I don't see much of a resemblance. But anyway,
But- Yeah, the tag team match.
Anyway, yes, tag team match. First of all, let me ask you guys this. we were talking about the fact that, there are 10 or 20 people at the top of WWE right now. I would argue that at the top 3 of those people, or at least in the top 5 of those people, are in this match.
Yeah.
So,
and then there's Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and then there's Roman Reigns. So let me just ask you guys, how do we feel about
The Rock currently?
How do we feel about, their main top guys pulling double duty?
I mean, I'm hyped.
I mean, hey, look, it's an anniversary.
I've been talking about at least Roman pulling double duty since he won both titles. I was like, he should be defending both titles separately, not as just one.
Stupid. That's what it is.
Your fucking face is stupid, okay?
All right. I don't want to see double duty working. I want to see more people on the card. And we don't need to see double duty because they already have their own match. And we don't, like I said in the beginning, we don't need to see The Rock's face. I don't want to see The Rock versus any one of those 3 in that ring. I want to see him either not wrestling or versing someone else.
He can't really.
But I do not want to see. He comes at the worst time and thinks he can just shove his face into it when he wants to. Mr. the Kiss My Ass Club from Vince McMahon. Definitely has his lips on there.
Well, not anymore because
he's
not anymore.
Like, he's not the boss anymore, but he's coming out of The Rock's mouth.
No, I'm saying The Rock is the boss now. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's right. He owns TKO.
No, he doesn't
Or
own
something.
TKO, you fucking dingleberry. He's on the board of directors.
Yeah. I got my
I don't want to see it.
I don't know. I think it's better
filled that
than
up
the
with a crazy
alternative.
match. Or what if don't we have the women's tag titles in NXT? That could have maybe put a spot in there. Promote that one because that is a title that goes around the entire company, right? Is it only NXT now?
As much as I
Scott,
would
you
love,
know as well as I do, they're never going to put that in a WrestleMania match.
Not exactly that match, but we could have seen a better match. We could have seen like a regular singles match of 2 great wrestlers just killing it.
The way I look at it, it's the lesser of the 2 evils because it was either, hey, The Rock turns heel and teams with Roman and they do this tag team match so he gets his WrestleMania moment like he wanted from this year, or
Which
they ignore everybody.
Like 5 years ago.
Or they ignore everybody and they do The Rock versus Roman Reigns anyway, and Seth gets stuck. Cody gets stuck fighting Seth and has to wait a whole nother year to finish.
Yay!
God, I can't wait for him to win that title so we can stop using it.
we're never going to stop. We're never going to stop using it.
It's the never-ending story. That means it doesn't end, Scott. Get it right.
Thank you, Dom.
And here's the truth, and I'm going to put this out there for you. I stand by what I said a couple of weeks ago. That could have very well been what could have happened. And they could have absolutely won with that. And listen, as much as people
listen to the crowd.
And listen, as much as people would have cried and complained about, as much as they did complain about it, that was going to be the main event that we were going to get, and we were just going to have to suck it up. So the fact that we're doing this,
that would have been the main event.
So the fact that we're doing this, I'm going to be honest with you. I agree with Dom. I think this is a perfect compromise.
Yes.
I don't think it's a compromise. I think it's an over double down, but in a good way.
Or a better compromise is making Rock versus Austin, because I would love to see another Rock versus Austin match.
Rock can't go like he used to. He gets gassed from doing the people's elbow.
And Austin absolutely cannot go the way he used to.
It's the magnitude of a WrestleMania with The Rock and Austin that will make it good.
I agree that, I'm not going to lie, Scott, I agree with you there. That would have been phenomenal.
Listen,
if they had The Rock, if they, instead of doing the tag match, they turned around and be like, oh, if Cody was like, oh well, don't worry, Rock. I'm fighting your cousin, but I got something for you to keep you busy. You'll still have your match at WrestleMania, and then the glass
Glass
breaks and Austin
shatters.
comes out. Yo, I would have popped like a motherfucker.
All of us, let's be
What
honest,
if
all of
They
us
keep
would have had an
they keep
absolute
showing
conniption.
they
What
keep
if-
showing Austin work out, go off like a beast. I'm like, just please. I'm like, I want it to be true that he's gonna be wrestling. Like,
I mean,
and then
listen,
every week it's just
here's-
disappointment.
here's-
It's just
here's
gonna be show up.
WrestleMania 40, I wouldn't be shocked if he shows up.
I would not be
Here's
surprised
what-
if he shows up. And let's think about it like this too. How do you respond to The Rock turning heel? Oh, I don't know. Grab the person who hated him more than anyone else on this planet.
Here's the compromise.
Grab the
for
guy.
all of that.
No, grab
Especially
the
Triple
guy
H can't fight.
who made
Yeah.
it look like when the two of them were in the ring, they not only hated the fact that they were fighting each other, they hated the fact that they were sharing the same air.
Here's my suggestion for a compromise. Night 2, let's say it's Cody Roman and they have to do the fucking Bloodlines roll thing, and Cody's getting his shit kicked in. That's when the glass breaks.
You know
And
what?
That would
I was
also be
just
kinda
about
cool.
To say that. I was just about to say that you have Cody and Seth lose that tag match, so it's bloodline rules, which, according to The Rock, means there are no rules. So
Which
not
means
only does the
cheating.
bloodline get
So
to
much
interfere-
cheating.
Yes,
Yeah.
which means not only does the bloodline get to interfere in that match, but so does everybody else.
Yeah.
And anybody else. So, like, obviously, Seth will probably come out to the ring and, try to stop, Jimmy Uso or Solo or something. And then, The Rock will be out there and he's like, oh, he's going to hit Cody with the people's elbow. And then,
Or what about that? What about this? What about this? The Rock at the beginning of WrestleMania Night 2 says something along the lines of, no active member of the roster can get
Yeah, it could be at
involved.
ringside because
Not active.
No active
Yes.
member of the roster. Okay, glass shatters.
yeah,
I thought of a great idea. A little different, and it does include Austin. It's a few weeks of The Rock showing his, because he keeps mentioning he's from the board of directors, so he's
Yeah.
obviously using his authority in the promo. In his
we
promos,
get Sheriff
so,
Austin back.
not Sheriff Austin, but The Rock starts making these crazy things that are gonna happen. This is gonna happen at this during your title match. We're gonna be at ringside. Blah blah blah. And then Cody has a seat. And then later through the weeks, like maybe a week before, he goes, "Oh, Dwayne, you may be the board of directors, but you're not the only one with connections. I got us a special guest." And that's how you don't have anybody interfere. Austin is the referee, so that makes it a legit match. And then you see the slow crumble of Roman Reigns when he realizes that he can't win.
Yeah, everyone
And
that
he's
tries to
gonna lose
interfere
the
just
title.
gets stunnered.
Yeah.
Not without at least copious
Exactly.
amounts of cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ending is Roman gets a weapon to try to disqualify him. Stone Cold takes the weapon off. Roman gets into a tussle with him. Austin, being the person that he is, strikes him back because he's like, "How dare you?" And then Cody hits him with the cutter, and he wins.
See, here's my only problem with that is you can't have Cody win that way. He has to win clean.
Yes,
Nah,
he does.
screw that. Roman won. Make him win dirty because Roman only won dirty.
I know, but that's the whole point of a heel and a babyface, Scott.
Yeah, he's supposed to be
Yeah,
better.
but you give him
than
a
that.
taste of his own medicine.
He's
So how
supposed
he
to
does
be
it.
better
No,
than
no,
that,
then you do that
Scott.
afterwards. You
That's
take the
not-
titles away from him, and then everyone jumps him after. That's whatever.
That's
No,
not
you know-
very justice of him, Scott.
You know what would be a really cool way to distract The Rock, though? If
What?
it's not Austin, can you imagine The Rock is about to screw Cody? Jimmy gets taken care of, Solo gets taken care of. You could have Seth come out and curb stomp Solo, and Jay comes out and fights Jimmy, and so they're out of the way. So really, all that's left is Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's not going to do nothing, and The Rock.
Hall of Famer, by the
Right.
way, this year.
What better way to distract The Rock than hearing
Oh god, that would be
And like
crazy.
Triple H doesn't have to do
No.
anything; he just come out. Him and Shawn Michaels can come out to the ring, because obviously we know Triple H will never be medically cleared again.
His heart almost exploded. Yeah.
Yes, he does in fact have a pacemaker. But they can come out and just be like, "Hey, I see you."
Or
Do
at least
nothing.
at least
And then
Triple
while
H.
The Rock is distracted. That's when we get our finish.
At least Triple
So
H.
I'm glad to know. that I just convinced everybody not to have this tag match and have a different.
No, you didn't do that.
And have
No,
a
I
better
still-
ending.
No, you
All I'm
didn't do
saying
that.
is
We're
I
still
don't-
getting the tag
I
team match.
I think that Roman and The Rock win the tag match because this way they can have all the chaos during the main event.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with Dom. I think Roman
Because
and
it's
Rock
also-
do win the tag team
Because
match.
it's also who are you gonna have beat The Rock or Roman? You know, because
Unless
But
you
you
have
know
The
what I
Rock
mean?
eat
It's
the
like-
pin.
well, I mean, The Rock probably would do it.
Rock's eating
Pretty sure
pins.
Goldust
who
and,
would you? What would you?
Stardust and Tyler Black can beat him.
Shut up. He was never Tyler Black in the WWE anyway.
I know. I just chose the worst form of him because that was. I don't even know if it was a bad form. It was just his beginning. So I had to mention that.
But what are the odds that Seth pulls like what he did last time he fought Roman
That's
and comes out with the Shield intro?
Yeah.
I think we're kind of
That would be
past
funny.
that point at this rate.
Yeah, that's fair. That's actually a good point.
And like
I
we've
keep
done it
hearing
already,
Seth
so
turning
like
on Cody.
A lot of people keep saying that, but I don't know.
I don't think there's any reason for Seth to turn on Cody right now.
Yeah, it's
Swerve,
not
bro.
He's not going for his title. He doesn't give a fuck about him.
Yeah,
Swerve, bro.
and you can't make Drew automatically a face.
Exactly.
No.
You need Drew.
He's
as a
too
heel
good as a
because Seth
heel.
is the baby face.
He's too good as a heel right now.
But yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
I don't know. I do. I could also see if this is a big if, and this has to do with Tony Khan not being a giant fucking geek about it. If they let Dustin appear, like he doesn't have to show up as Goldust. He can just be Dustin Rhodes, and have him show up at ringside during the main event. Since
With
if they're
Rollins.
gonna lose, yes. So like Rollins shows up and they're like, "Who's the equalizer?" Oh my God, it's Dustin.
And those two can deal off the Rock and the lackeys.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
level.
like,
I'm gonna level with you. I don't think that would be. I don't think that would be bad. I don't see Tony Khan letting that be though. I think
That's my
as
point.
much
Like, I
as
think that
it's
would be a
exactly
really
like what
cool
you said.
moment.
He's too much of a geek to let that happen. So
Yeah, I think it would be a really cool moment, especially for Cody if he's gonna win the Universal Championship. To share that with his brother.
I mean, I agree. I agree, man, and I think it would be beautiful. But
Yeah. So does he come out as Goldust 7 or Black Rain?
It's like
don't
he
you
doesn't even
ever
fucking
mention
listen when I
Black
talk.
Rain on my show ever
I
again.
just wanted to make that joke. I'm sorry.
Don't you ever mention Black Rain on my show ever again. Absolutely. I cannot believe we've been off the air for a month and you haven't matured at all.
You know,
What
Cap,
were
you
you-
have every right to just kick him off.
But he doesn't.
Cap,
because he loves me.
the unfortunate part is this is going to be the ending of just Francis doing that in the very end of it. Because this is the sorry to bring it. I'm sorry to bring this up, but this is the final topic. It's going to end with Francis doing that.
Oh my god, that's right. Oh
That's a real
god.
one.
Our show's gonna end off with fucking Black Rain, my god.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you liked what you heard, we're on Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. The push.
Oh god. In all seriousness, folks, it's glad I'm glad to be back. I'm happy to be back, man. I'm glad we're doing this
We're
again.
happy to have you back.
And I've missed all of you mostly. And it's good to be back, man. Glad we're gonna be getting back on the train. on the content train, and we're going to be pumping out episodes. We are going to start putting up YouTube videos again. And yeah, it's going to be a good time, folks. It's going to be a good time. Be sure to follow us on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, The Push. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, The Push Wrestling. Links to all of those will be in the description of the YouTube video and in the Spotify. And be sure to follow us because we got a lot of fun shit coming, man.
Mania time, baby.
So, for all of us here at The Push, my name is Cap.
I'm Dom.
Stop Ash.
Yeah.
Good night, America.